Hey, how's it going? Do you like it? Yeah, no, maybe so. Hey, you know what? I like it. And that's what matters. Did you read much? Yeah. So, got the book, and I'm just reading through it, and I really like what they say here. There's a certain nobility in best of. It is implicit. You must have the wealth of material, a rabid fan base, the respect of the industry, the admiration of your peers, and a track record of excellence over a considerable length of time. And you must have given it your all. I mean, Dolly Parton's greatest hits would be a bad joke if she had been a one-hit wonder. Instead, she has several volumes of hits, and for what it's worth, she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in the same day. I don't know about you, but reading that, it just struck me as beautiful. Okay? So, that's why I do all this reading. Way smarter people than me in the world. Okay, so, one of my favorite quotes, and I wish I knew who to attribute to it, says, "There's a lot of rewards for doing good work. The main reward is chance to do more good work. So be sure the work you are doing is the work you want to do, because they're going to ask you for more." Okay? Now, the reason why I read this is because you have a world built upon infrastructure, right? And a really long time ago, a presidential candidate who became president asked a writer of all things, to come up with a slogan, a catchline, a phrase, a quote, something for the public to sink their teeth into. Because, you know, public are like hungry piranha. Right? So, they said, well, what is this in regards to? And he was like, well, we got all the money in the world, and it's divided up between all the world, but we need a way to distribute it. We need a way to circulate the economy, because we're going to create a world built on infrastructure. Yeah, we can have all the land in the world, we can have all the water in the world, we can have every resource available in the world, and we need a way to distribute it. So they're like, oh. And they looked at infrastructure, and they said, well, you know, if everybody has a job, everybody will get paid, everybody will have money, and they can circulate it in the community in which they live. And if they travel, they will circulate that economy in other places too. You just need a stimulus. A stimulus in this case being an industry to create revenue. Oh, okay, so we're like, hey, we will build a mine, right? We will dig a well. We will chop down trees. We will do everything. So they were like, hey, that works for me. So they looked and they seen, oh, this town here, look. The mine was stripped nothing left. All the people moved out of town. It became a boom town, which is kind of funny because it just kind of withered away and died because there's no money left to employ the town. You see the power of an industry, right? Look at health. Without any vitamin, mineral, whatever it be, your body can live so long, but after a while, it's going to wither and die, or at least show the effects of the lack of nutrition. It could be anything, right? Hey, look, we can live on supplements, but again, with the need for fiber and real food, which processed food doesn't really give, from what I'm to understand, and all my knowledge could be wrong, because misinformation is real. What's my point? The world's built on infrastructure. Does not matter about what the industry is, because there's a natural domino effect that carries on down the line, right? Just like genetics. Hey, look at that. I look like my relative way down the line. Hey, they look like me further upstream, right? So anyway, since it's Sunday, I think it's Easter Sunday, April the 17th, I believe, 2022. I just want to share that with you because it was saying in here, and I'm not going to read it, that when you're really, really good and you do the same job as everybody else, there is no such thing as competition. There's no such thing as well, whatever you want to call it. Because when you're the only one who does this, whatever this is, people don't wait for a sale. People, you are the go-to guy, all right? And that's really good to know, because everyone is trained in a skill or a talent or whatever it be. Every single athlete, every person could be the world's greatest athlete, right? Everybody could be the world's best baker, or any trade, skill, occupation, industry, you name it. But it's the people who care about you and about your reputation, about everything about you, because you're a human being. And if they're going to associate with you, if they're going to befriend you, if they're going to be in any kind of relationship, including, because we are all from parents who have loved this child but have been worried about how they're going to raise you in a world that changes everything, that in a world that is constantly in change. They themselves have experienced from birth till you were born a world of change. They've grown. They've learned all this knowledge. They've done all this stuff. People have come, people have gone. And the people who have mattered most are the ones who have cared the most about them. That's usually grandparents, parents, family. And a long time ago, Before there's a nation, a continent, any form of authority, there's family. There's survival. And a long time ago, for people to be able to really enjoy something, they have something of value invested into that thing. Even if you want to watch and be entertained, they're investing their time. They're investing money if they have to pay to watch. So, seeing this, people are like, hey, we can profit off the entertainment of others. How are we going to do it? And there are so many ways to profit from entertainment. That's why you have an entertainment explosion. And from what I hear, the porn industry is huge. So are movies all about crime. And even though nobody wants crime in their personal life, there is the reality of needing law enforcement and all this stuff. Now, if in a world of change, you create an industry where you are forced to create an economy that circulates and empowers and creates people who are their best, what are you doing? Oh, you are a teacher teaching how to become the best. Because every parent, grandparent, family member wants their family member, that child, to be able to go on and live a really good life. And they all know that reputation rules, right? So, you turn around and you look and you see that everybody's trying to teach that child everything that child needs to know, never to have regrets, never to have enemies, and never to make the wrong decision, make the wrong move, something, so that they can live and continue to build upon who they want to be. But in a world that somehow some people lose sight or lose track that if you look at a particle of light, in theory, from what I'm to understand, it can either be a wave or a wave particle or some other kind of particle. But it has the choice of being, and if you look at it, it will go from this particle and it will change into another particle. Or it could stay the same. And this is where you have the idea that once you look at something, it changes, right? But we're born into a world where you're forever watched. So no matter what you do, you're always in that same world. And what do we find out when animals can't get the privacy? When people can't get the privacy they need? In a world of quote-unquote Big Brother. Yeah. Woohoo! People will go crazy. They need personal privacy because we're all human beings. And it's not natural to be watched 24/7. It's really creepy. But we live in a world where we have to share this idea about being watched 24/7 And I ask you why. Well, see, if you're a really fly guy or a really cool chick with something to prove, nothing else to do, you might have more than one rule. You might have a whole collection that is finite as to the reasons why we teach kids you're forever watched, right? Oh, look, without authority, people would just live in anarchy. They would do all the bad. They would cheat, rob, steal, scam, pillage, rape, and you see that, right? Of course, because there are people out there who teach, for whatever reason, this is a world and you can do anything in it. No, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, do all that stuff. Destroy your personal health, destroy your personal relationships. Burn it all down, because everybody gets a second chance. I don't know about you, but me, I don't want a second chance. If I can't do things right the first time, I know there are some people like me who will either just, I don't need that shit, and you throw it away. You also have people like me who, if I'm really intent on something, I will forever be persistent, and I will get to the bottom of things. I will fix that, or build it, or whatever it might be, just so that it's said and done. And they found out a really long time ago that when you just talk to a person and you say, oh, blah, 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 and you fix things in person, then all of a sudden, the idea of closure has given people on all sides of humanity a reason to breathe, right? And there's a reason for it. Is because when you fix something, you get to move on. But you see people getting out of jail or distraught because they couldn't make a relationship work. Hey, not my friend no more. I fucking love you, right? And everybody gets their heart broken. Everybody has regrets. Even though we try and we show, hey, you know what? It didn't work out. Move on. And we try and teach kids that people will come and go in your life. And to talk and say, hey, this happened because of this reason. When you provide closure, not only is it good for that person, but it's also good for the people who need closure and find out why something happened. Why did this happen? Right? And it could be anything. Why did you start the fire in the house? We live in the house. Why did you do that? And of course, you gotta look at the individual and be like, oh, I thought the fire was pretty. Look, there it is. I'm just watching it. And before I knew it, the whole room was on fire. All of a sudden, the whole house was filled with smoke and everything was burned just like my toast, right? Something. I don't know. I'm making it all up now. But anyway, the point is there's a reason for everything. And when you have a world that's not because this the person that for the presidential candidate, right, and became president. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Now, when you apply the proof of, oh, Henry Ford created the first car. He didn't do it alone, but all of a sudden you see a world full of vehicles, right? They could have been around even before him. What's the point? The point is he took it on, same as athletes and you name it, everybody under the sun who feels the responsibility to make the world a better place, right? So everybody's trying to make the world a better place, not expressly understanding that when you're in a world that is trying to turn you into the best, you forgot your family and all the people who care about you waited 9 months to introduce you, meet you, and introduce you to this amazing, wonderful world and all the reasons why it is such a good world. Because people don't raise kids in hell, okay? Nobody in their right mind would bring a life form into hell. And people use money and buy love all the time because it's the one way we have to show that we care about you, right? So when I show you that I care about you, I will use my resources, I will use humor, and depending upon a relationship, maybe I'm making kids with you. Maybe that relationship didn't work. Now I'm looking for a new relationship where we can be a family without the need of having kids. Because in a world that's apparently overpopulated, a really good idea to be able to be a family with that person without pets, without kids. And if you like that person, you enjoy spending time, they meet as many and all needs possible because they really care about you and love you. And you, in return, love them and meet all their needs as humanly as possible, because men and women don't marry and create families with each other so that the community can meet all those needs that are just between you and me. See?